What's going on, guys? So today's video is going to be to address what I've recently found to be some topics on some forums that I'm a member of that a lot of people may not realize I'm a member of. Anyways, guys, hang tight. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so whether you know or you don't know, I am a member of just about every RV and truck related forum out there. I join these forums because I like to hear what you guys think. I like to hear what your opinions are on different pieces of technology that may come out, what your opinions are on towing, on specs, on payload capacity, all the different things that are brought up in these forums. And I am a member of just about all of them. Now, what I generally don't do is I don't usually comment or respond. And I probably should, but I don't. There are generally two types of people that watch my channel on the forum. People that like what I talk about and people that think what I talk about is total and utter BS. They watch my channel and they totally think that everything I say is wrong. In many ways, they can't really substantiate it, but they just don't like my opinion on topics. And I think most of the time, and where I see most of those opinions loudest, are on forum topics that revolve around truck towing capacities and what I generally suggest when it comes to safe towing. Now, I understand that when you buy a truck and you've spent money on it, maybe financing it for another 5 or 6 years, you may be upside down on it and you're in this situation to where you really can't easily get out of it. It's really easy to want to defend everything about your truck because you're kind of stuck with it and you want to make the best situation possible out of it. And so when somebody comes along and they say, you know, your F-150 with your max tow package and all the suspension modifications you've done can easily tow a 12,000 pound travel trailer or fifth wheel, you know, you want to hear that. You want someone to kind of confirm what you feel about what you own. Or even if you are skeptical about it, you want someone to kind of push you to the edge to make you believe that what you have is more than adequate. And I know there's a lot of people out there like that. Shoot, I'm even like that when it comes to some products. I'll buy a product and I question whether it's the best for a certain application, and I want other people, I'm willing other people to just give me positive feedback that I can use it in a way that it might not be intended for. Or it may be intended for, just not to the degree that I plan on using it. And I think most buyers are like that because you don't want to make a regretful purchasing decision, and you do want to be encouraged that whatever you spent your hard-earned money on is going to work for as many applications as possible. So when I watch these forum topics and I read through them, and people are asking really legitimate questions, such as, you know, I have a 2014 F-250 and, you know, the maximum fifth wheel capacity in my truck is 16,500 pounds and I want to get this fifth wheel, but it weighs 15,000 pounds. Am I safe to tow it? Should I be able to tow it? Because I watched Big Truck, Big RV and he said, no, I need to get a dually truck or I need to buy an F-450. And I really don't know where people hear that I say an F-450 is the best truck for all applications, because I don't think I ever said that. Anyways, my whole point here is that people will reference my videos and they're going to say, should I get this much stouter truck? Should I get this truck with greater payload or towing numbers to be able to haul a fifth wheel that I think my specific truck should be able to haul based on the numbers that I read? So the feedback that these folks generally get is, Big Truck, Big RV is a sham. He's just trying to sell stuff. So whatever he says about trucks is wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just spouting off BS. And they never actually give the person the answer that they're looking for. Instead, they spend so much time criticizing my channel that they don't ever get to the point that the actual question revolves around, and that is, can my 2014 F-250 with a 16,500 pound towing capacity haul a 15,000 pound fifth wheel? And it leaves these people with perfectly legitimate questions questioning the answer they're getting. They're wondering, well, is Big Truck, Big RV just spouting off a bunch of BS, or is he saying factual information? Because all these folks on this forum are telling me that what he's saying is completely wrong. Well, let's think about it for a second. anytime I apply specific numbers of a tow vehicle to a towing application, I always talk about three different aspects. First, I talk about the towing capacity. So let's reference a 2014 F-250 with a 16,500 pound maximum fifth wheel towing capacity. So you can say technically that F-250 checks the box of towing capacity for a 14 or 15,000 pound fifth wheel, right? So, you know, if I say, well, that's not the right truck for it, people are going to say, well, obviously it is because Ford says it can tow it. Well, let's check the second box, payload capacity. Most 3/4 ton diesel pickup trucks have a maximum payload capacity between about 1,750 pounds all the way up to about 3,000 pounds. When you get into a gas-equipped truck, then that number goes higher because the engine weighs less and it gives you more room for cargo capacity. Well, your typical 14 to 15,000 pound fifth wheel is going to have about a 3,000 pound pin weight, which means that an F-250, more than likely, if it's with a diesel engine, will not be able to take the pin weight of a fifth wheel. You'll be overloading the truck. So people will say, well, that's just weight patrol. Wait until you get into an accident. You may not get pulled over for towing overweight, but if you get into an accident and you cause bodily injury to somebody else, I can almost guarantee you the attorneys will want to know what your truck was rated for and what you were hauling with it. And if in any way that could be used as a way to prosecute you or a way to win a huge settlement for whoever you injured. So just keep that in mind. No, you likely aren't going to get pulled over by troopers or by, you know, police departments wanting to see how much your truck weighs and how much your trailer weighs and if the combination is over. But you could very, very easily find yourself in a situation after an accident, especially if someone is injured, even if it's one of your own passengers, to where you were overweighted for what the truck was rated for. So weight police, you know, yes, there is a weight police, and they usually come after an accident, which is when you really don't want to see them, and is also the time that you start getting asked the hard questions. So we've checked the first box in terms of towing capacity, but we can't check the second box because payload capacity isn't there. So the next one that we need to talk about are upgrades, right? So I've done all these upgrades to the suspension of my vehicle. You know, my F-250 is essentially an F-350 because I put an extra overload leaf, or I changed some configuration of the truck to make it handle weight better. And you may have done that, but you haven't officially done that from a truck manufacturing perspective, which means just because you've added safety enhancement equipment to the vehicle to add the ability to better handle heavier weight does not mean that lawyers will view it as that way whenever you get into an accident. If you get into an accident, they're going to look for the weakest link in your chain, and that weakest link might be the fact that you didn't upgrade your wheels and tires to match that of what a 1-ton truck might have. Or you might have upgraded certain components, but your gear ratio does not give you the towing capacity that you're hoping it does. There are all sorts of factors that come into play when it comes to what is legally considered a safe vehicle for towing. Now, some people may say, well, I know for a fact that a 3/4 ton truck and a 1-ton single rear wheel truck are identical except for the spring, or except for the tire, or except for this one component that I can change out. Well, if you change that component out and all of a sudden your truck is capable of handling more weight to match that of a higher payload or towing capacity truck, well, go through the process and see what it takes to actually re-rate your truck and get a new sticker that matches your VIN for that. Because that's essentially what you would have to do to convince a lawyer or convince an investigator that your vehicle is now capable of handling increased payload or towing capacity. And in most cases, the cost of doing that is not even feasible, but the ability to do that isn't going to be possible. You'd have to send your vehicle back to the manufacturer to re-rate your truck. And you know what they want to do? They want to sell you a new truck, so they're probably not going to do it. So, when you go to these forums and you see people who bring up my channel, I absolutely love when there's good dialogue and people are saying, you know what, Big Truck Big RV is spouting off a bunch of BS because he got this wrong or he got that wrong. If you are on those forums and they're doing that and they're making those claims, fine, that's great. as long as they're backing them up with why whatever I'm saying is wrong. But you should really be careful what you listen to if they can't back it up with anything. If they can't tell you specifically why what they believe I'm saying is wrong, then you have to be very careful about listening to what they're telling you. So ultimately, what I want you to do is just be careful about any information that's provided to you, whether I'm providing it to you, whether you're hearing it from a forum, whether you're hearing it from folks who just don't want to agree with what I say because it kind of speaks in contrary to a decision that they've made or what they feel is safe. You know, people will question what I say, and I absolutely encourage it. I encourage people to do their own research and to look at what I view as only a piece of the puzzle, because I can't sit there and say one piece of information about one specific thing I'm talking about is going to apply to everybody. A lot of people have a tremendous amount of information on towing safety, on different things related to RVing, and they have more information than I do. So I'm not going to say they're wrong, but you always want people to substantiate that information with facts. You want them to be able to explain to you why, if you're asking a perfectly legitimate question about if a certain truck is safely able to tow a certain weight trailer, a certain type of trailer, you want a good answer. You don't want someone just to come back and say, well, the answers you've been given are crap, but I'm not going to give you the correct answer because I know too much to share that with you. Or I'm going to focus way too much on why I think somebody else was wrong, or why they're not giving you the right information, but I have no information to share with you. All that being said, I wasn't trying to nitpick with this video, but I do want you to be cautious when you're out there and you're exploring information and you're doing your research, because it is important to have good, honest, credible answers to the questions that you have, not just someone who believes that what everyone else says is wrong simply because they're trying to justify their own purchase. Anyways, guys, I really hope you have a wonderful day. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and I will talk to you again very soon.